I'm part of the less than 4% of the world's population is
South
redheaded.
Park.
And South Park, I mean, it's a good show. I mean, I love it. I find it comedic. It has a great principles and morals that it tries to teach people as well. Um, and they do talk about disability rights a lot. But in a lot of things, a lot of people see those shows and think, well, those individuals must. But, when people are minorities or other minorities in that gay community are talking about how there's white privilege and how there's all that stuff, yes, those things exist. We get it. I get it. I understand those things happen. But now let's talk about, I can only talk about my personal experience because I'm not part of that community. I can only talk about what I've been through. But as an individual with a redhead nationality that specializes in redheads, being redhead has its ups and downs. There are people who fetishize it, and there are people who think redheads all act a certain way. They all are angry, aggressive, overly emotional, evil, dumb rednecks, racist, um, you name it. So those labels as well. I grew up in a gay community, as we already established, and I also have experienced a lot of unfortunate prejudice and my own people who wanted to bash me, for being disabled. Recently, I'm coming to a place in my life where, I want to have dates. I want to be able to form relationships and have friends and not be seen as. Now, I'm a person with a disability, but I don't see myself as disabled necessarily. Now, when people find out you're disabled, their attitude automatically changes. Say, for instance, you really find this one guy really attractive, but you really are trying to get that person to be, established and say, hey, this is my girl or this is my guy. You want to be.
Females had trouble making it in the early days, and now females are making it quite. Of course, there's going to be a gray zone between. You can be masculine, and it is a trait that we had to develop for survival issues or people with disabilities. They have to learn their rights in order. They don't get promotions because of perceptions of disabilities and stigmas. To have moments of mood swings where they had to keep weapons away from him, and it was documented in his journals, hinting he would be diagnosed with bipolar. And he also predicted where the Nazis were going to strike by formulating this machine. So, of course, people could say clearly what they want about me. That's fine. I really can care less. But when I'm getting threats to the point where you're trying to exploit it, to the point where you're trying to prove a point and make yourself look better by exploiting it, does it really make you? Paper trails and internet trails and all that stuff is all I need to prove my point. Yeah, you could say I'm crazy, and you can have all these witnesses come in to prove your does quite well in society. And someone like me who hasn't hurt anybody in my life obviously is going to be looked at a lot more favorably. And nor am I going to diagnose somebody, nor am I going to tell somebody their status, because I know better than that. Now, people oftentimes forget that service dog laws require people to have them on leashes unless they're working and it deals with the task that they're working. So, for instance, jumping on them, going around their legs, putting them in a situation where they can be harassed can be considered harassment, because people have public rights too. So there's another situation, in my apartment complex, there's several clear violations of the policies. And half the time I've turned my cheek is when they're coming after me and accusing me of things that I clearly have. But the problem is their perception of mental illness and making retard sounds at me based on that, because I know about their situations. And their bullies even state it's sad and pathetic that these people bully you, because I spent my whole time bullying them through school and they threw tantrums